everybody doing tonight? Woo! Fantastic. All right, yes, this is the Comedy Conglomerate. This is our comedy show, our Halloween comedy show. We don't all normally dress the way that you're seeing us. We're doing some different costumes. Yeah, so let's see. I'm seeing a few people in costumes. I'm seeing a hamburger, seeing some bunnies. Yeah, that's great. So I'm wearing my costume. Does anybody know who I am? No. Steve the Clown? Pirate. Pirate. All right, not quite, not quite. That's okay, that's okay. You know, most people don't get my costume. In fact, only one person has gotten my costume, my dad. I sent a picture to him of me, and he texted back, "You're a disappointment." You got it, Dad. But I love Halloween. I love costumes. I love Halloween music too. There is one song I think should be in every Halloween playlist because of what it makes people think. I'm going to pull it up right now. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I am going to be your inner thoughts as this song plays. I know the song. Wait a minute. Who the hell put Sweet Home Alabama on a Halloween playlist? Well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Why would anybody do? Werewolves of London. I guess I'm the only person who thinks that. But every time Werewolves of London comes on, I go, oh my God, somebody put Sweet Home Alabama on the Halloween playlist. You know, I'm a fan of costumes, I'm a fan of Halloween music, and I'm a fan of spooky stuff. I think this Halloween we should do a lot of scary things, so I think everybody pull out your phones. Go ahead, right now pull out your phones. Open it up, go to messages. All right, everybody at messages? Yeah. Now pick, perfect, thank you. All right, now pick a friend, pick a family member, and text them, "Can I ask you a serious question?" And then turn your phone off. Yeah. I like spooky stuff. I like dealing with fears. A really common fear is public speaking. Anybody here afraid of public speaking? Yeah. You're afraid of public speaking? You're afraid of public speaking. What's your name? Yasmin. Yasmin? Yeah. All right, why don't you come up here and tell us more about your fear of public speaking? Come on, Yasmin. 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 All right, so you're afraid of public speaking, right?
Yes.
All right, how many people does it take to make you afraid of public speaking?
20.
All right, so this is right at the threshold for you, right?
I guess so.
Are you scared?
No, because I can't see anyone.
All right, take a step forward. Yeah, these lights are super bright. You guys are really going to have to laugh loud. All right, now are you afraid?
Now I'm scared.
Okay, there we go. All right, thank you. All right, well that's it for me bullying the audience. I think let's make things fair. We're going to talk about my fears for a moment. So let's see, what are some of my fears? One of my fears is heights, but I'm on stage and wearing heels tonight, so I think I'm being really brave. You know, another one of my fears is tight spaces, especially when I can't rotate my body. Because personally, if I can't turn around and throw it back, what's even the point of life? Yeah. Don't objectify me. I'm not a piece of meat. Yes, I am. I miss being a kid. My fears when I was a kid were a lot simpler. Like I used to be afraid of frankencelery. Now, if you guys don't know, frankencelery is a character on the Christian cartoon VeggieTales. He is a piece of celery with a face and bolts on his, well, I guess celery doesn't really have a neck, but like where you think the neck would be. And I was fucking terrified of him. But, you know, I grew up, I'm a man, I no longer scream every time I see the produce aisle, And now, frankencelery is my second biggest fear. Woo! Thank you. My biggest fear is the fear of being hated. Now, my therapist says that's because I'm a people pleaser, but I prefer the term emotional slut. I should specify, I mean that I'm a slut for people's emotions. I'm not saying that I cry when I have sex. Well, I do cry when I have sex, but that's not important. Yasmin, you got me distracted. All right, let's reel it back in. Yeah, I have a fear of being hated, and it's a really fucked up fear because it's bound to happen. You know, I can't control what other people think about me. Yeah, every day I wake up and I'm going to have to face this fear. See, that's what I like about Halloween. Because Halloween is a time for us to recognize our fears. And for us to recognize that our fears are normal. But we can't stop them from letting us live life. So I wake up every day and I go and I live my life. Even though I know that I'm going to have to face hatred and heights and tight places. And probably frankencelery one of these days. But I just keep living. And that's something I really like about comedy too. Because comedy is all about finding a new way to look at the world. And sometimes we find, whenever we're looking at the world a new way, that all the things that we thought were scary are actually kind of funny. So with that, I think it's time that we start our show. Our first comedian is fantastic. She just took a big drink, so I'm gonna draw this out so that she has time to drink as much as she wants. She is very funny, a very good friend of mine. Here she comes. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Catherine.
Hi. I'm so glad to not see any of you tonight. These lights are so bright. Oh, man. Andrew, this first joke is for you, wherever you are.
Hi.
Hi. But I want you all to participate. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ah!
Ah!
Werewolves of London. Nobody knows this song, but this is for you. We know it. So, this is my costume. I am a traffic cone. I was going to go as a red flag, but I'm not really a full stop at this point. I'm kind of under construction, although there might be like a dead end or maybe a cliff back there. Come this way. I don't know. I had a guest recently, and she stayed at my house. She's very tidy, and I am too. But my roommate is a mess. Like, he leaves hair everywhere, and when he eats, he drops food all over the place. And he often drinks out of the toilet, and he has these like dirty paws, and he even shits in the backyard. It's kind of gross, but he likes to go for long walks with me, and he likes the same movies I like, and he puts his cute little head in my lap when we're watching a movie, so I'll keep him around. He's a dog, by the way. My roommate's a dog, if you didn't pick up on that. Anyway, the hair is a real problem, and I came home from a show the other week, and I found a package on my front porch. And I opened it up, and my friend had bought me a Roomba. Very nice. Take note if you're ever a house guest. Roombas are a good gift. This is a low-end model, though, and I'm kind of glad because it doesn't map my house or take pictures and send them to China or anything. And because I like to put all my information up on Facebook like a good American. Thanks. So. Anyway, so this Roomba, I got it set up to go at night. And it picks up all the fur and everything. It's doing a lot of late night stalking, so I named it Harry Styles. Can't get it off my mind. I just want to tell jokes about it. So Halloween's coming up, and I'm trying this new hobby. Not just telling jokes, but I actually am like writing jokes. So I did this thing where I sat down and did some research, but then I got totally distracted and I just went down a rabbit hole. So you guys, buckle up, y'all. It's learning time. We're gonna learn about why are witches associated with broomsticks. So the first painting, yeah, this is great. I love telling jokes that have facts. The first painting ever depicted of a woman riding a broom has her in a headdress that's not like this. It shows that she's part of a Christian sect, and they allowed women to be priests. Why were they being persecuted? Anyway, so she's riding this broomstick. Again, why though? Why? So these women figured out that if you have these 4 nightshades, Hensbane, Datura, Jimson weed, and belladonna, you can get feeling pretty good. Causes hallucinogens, pain management, pleasurable muscle spasms, and a little bit of blindness, which I guess if you're hanging out with the wrong people, blindness is a good thing to have during that. But it can get you feeling good, but if you take too much, it'll kill you. So they figured out that if you take it orally, that's in your mouth, you might die, but if they put it on your mucous membranes, do y'all know what mucous membranes are? I'm talking about your hoo-ha, your coochie, your front butt, your back butt, like, yeah, okay. If you put it there, and you will get high, but you won't die. So that's pretty cool, right? So what they would do is put it in grease or oil and lube up the broomstick, and then ride the broomstick to the party. So they weren't like in the sky, but they were high. So, like most things though, the first person documented to do this, even though women developed it, was a man. His name was Guillaume Edelin, and he was a priest. So you can imagine which mucous membrane he was using. But anyway, God, I love comedy, it's so funny. Anyway, I am actually a modern witch, but we get together, we like hold crystals and meditate and like pull tarot cards and talk about our feelings and stuff. But I really think that we should get into herbology and maybe some chemistry, because now that I have a Roomba, my broom is freed up for other activities. Thank you all so much. Happy Halloween, and don't forget to vote. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine, everybody, give it up. Yeah. A couple of weekends ago, Catherine drove me all the way to Roanoke so that I could perform. So I think that makes her my pimp. All right, next up we have a guy who is going to be performing for his first time, but he has a real green thumb and green index finger and green forearm. I think I'm just going to bring up Jason up here. Everybody put your hands together for Jason.
What's going on, y'all? So, it's starting to get a little cold outside. The guys can relate to me on this one. The shrinkage going on. So I figured I'd grow up a little bit of a bush for protection. Anyway. Alright, so I don't know about you guys, but before I go to sleep, I love to watch YouTube documentaries. And last night, I was watching a YouTube documentary about all the plastic in the ocean. Apparently, there's like this microplastics, and we end up eating it as humans, and it's making guys infertile. So guys today are 30% less, they have 30% less sperm than they did 50 years ago, which is like a pretty crazy statistic. And I thought, damn, who could be responsible for this? And then it clicked. The ladies are dumping plastic in the ocean on purpose because we don't let them get abortions anymore. And, you know, I thought about it because if guys could get pregnant, abortions would be available at every 7-Eleven. You'd go into 7-Eleven and the guy working would be like, hello, can I help you? And I'd be like, yeah man, I'm just trying to get an abortion. They're like, okay, follow me, come to the back. And he'd have you like spread, you know, wide legs right on the taquito machine because it's nice and warm and there's good lighting. You're like, okay, complimentary taquito on me while I perform abortion. Come here. And it'd be great, you know, you're like sipping a Slurpee while getting an abortion. They'd have like a membership card, you know, you get like, you get one abortion a month and then you get like your 5th one is free. They give you like a complimentary like 7-Eleven pizza after you get 5. I mean, it'd be great. Anyway, so, sorry guys, first.
You got it, Jason.
I got it. Okay, I have always been a huge proponent of male birth control though. I think this shit's great. And I don't know why like there's not a pill that us guys can take. And the thing is, that's crazy about the whole plastic killing sperm thing, is that as guys, we do not need to wear condoms anymore. We can just eat the condom. Anyway, as I'm like walking around campus, I keep seeing all the posters up for homecoming. I don't know if any of you guys were keeping up with any of that. I definitely wasn't. But one of the girls was running on the idea that we need more women in STEM, more girls in STEM. Which I guess the whole idea is that there's like way more guys that pick STEM majors than girls. So she's trying to even the gap. Like, fair enough. But the thing is, you don't see guys like running for homecoming on the premise that we need more men in nursing or more male babysitters. And it's not like when you go to Hokey Spa and you're trying to pick your major and it's asking you to confirm like what you want your major to be, and you're like, oh, so you want to do biology and you have tits? Sorry. Try learn to drive a car 101 instead. Like, no, it doesn't fucking do that, and no one cares that you want to do chemistry as a girl. In fact, I encourage it, because who else is supposed to clean the microscopes? Oh my God. Anyway. In other news on campus events going on, there is a huge philanthropy event that happened on Monday called Mock Rock. I don't know if any of you guys went to it, but it's pretty impressive. They filled the entire Burris Auditorium with all the various Greek organizations on campus, and they completely sold it out. And they raised like $60,000 for domestic violence, which is very impressive. And as I was buying my ticket, I asked one of the girls it was like $5. I like asked her specifically where my money was going, because I'm curious. And she was like, the money goes towards like spending for advertisement campaigns against domestic violence and the Women's Center. And so I like sat down, that made sense. And then I kind of thought about it, and then it didn't. So I'm gonna throw a hypothetical at you guys here. So imagine we have, all right, there's this horrible statistic that 40% of cops beat their wives, right? It's like terrible, but I Googled this last night, so it has to be true. So imagine we have a cop that was on traffic duty all day long, and he was giving people speeding tickets, and he's had a bad day. Most of the people he was pulling over, let's just say, weren't white. He's on his way home, he's ready to let his anger out, and as he's driving, he sees a big ass billboard that says, "End domestic violence today." Are you telling me that this cop is gonna see this billboard and think, huh, maybe I won't strangle my wife tonight? Like, no, this billboard is gonna piss him off even more. And I imagine that these cops on their days off, they like to sit at home and watch football and get hammered. And let's just say like his favorite team's losing, and he's pissed off, as anyone would be, as their favorite football team is losing. And his wife is trying to cheer him up. She brings him a beer, which happens to be a Blue Moon, and then a commercial comes on, and the commercial is like, "Save a life, don't beat your wife." And as he sees that commercial, he realizes, oh, blue moon in hand, he gives his wife a black eye. Now, call me fucking Albert Einstein, I don't think these commercials are the solution. Now, that being said, the dance itself, so it's a big dance competition in Burris. It's very entertaining. I've never seen so many 18-year-old guys wear crop tops and booty shorts dancing to Chris Brown, which in itself doesn't make much sense because what Chris Brown did to Rihanna. I don't know if we were going to talk about that one, but yeah, actually, apparently, Chris Brown's favorite artist was Michael Jackson. And he loved Michael Jackson because his favorite song was Beat It. Thank you, guys.
I've heard it dropping the mic. All right, that's it. Jason says show's over. I'm gonna raise this up, too short. And that was great. Put your hands together for Jason one more time. So, an event put together by Greek Life to prevent domestic violence. That's like the Ku Klux Klan donating to Black Lives Matter. Doesn't make sense to me. All right, let me check the list. I definitely didn't forget who comes up next. All right, up next, we have an international comedian. He has flown all the way here from India. He's very funny. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stand Ayush.
Hello guys. Today my son told me he had comedy event, but he couldn't make it, so I'm here. Yes. How are you guys? Yes, yes. Good, good. So recently I heard this news. Have you heard this news? Okay, let me tell you news. Apparently the Queen of England has died. Did you guys hear this? So me as an Indian, I was like, oh yes, finally. But I want to know, are there any British here tonight? Yeah. Yes. No. Fuck to you. You're already Indian, man. Don't be proud of the Britishness in you. Jeez. The Brits stomped all over India for hundreds of years, stole trillions of dollars, and it took an old pedophile with an eating disorder to liberate us. Let it sink in. Old pedophile with an eating disorder. He was also racist, but like, you know, I could just throw it in there at this point. You guys are all here because it's Halloween show, right? How many of you guys knew it was Diwali? Diwali was 2 days earlier. And yet they're making me work so hard. It's a hate crime, honestly. Honestly, it's a hate crime. Do you guys know what Diwali is for Indian people? That doesn't require applause, it's a question. Diwali is our new year. It's our new year. We celebrate Lakshmi, we celebrate the goddess of knowledge, studies, and it's a good time. It's a good time. So I'm here and I'm going to tell you some Hindu stories. You guys want to hear Hindu stories? Yes, I love the passion. Okay, first Hindu story. So basically in Hinduism, there are many types of Hinduism, but I'm going to tell you about specific. There are 3 types of main gods. There's Brahma, he's the creator. There's Vishnu, he's the preserver. And there's Shiva, he's the destroyer. Now Shiva, crazy ass motherfucker. He has 3 eyes, right? 3 eyes. And when he opened his 3rd eye, he could do whatever he wanted. Also, E.T. showed up in the fucking back right now. And that's very distracting. Hello, E.T. Hello, I am also alien. How are you guys? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, yes. Don't tell eyes. Yes, I like it more. Don't tell them. So, Shiva has a wife. Her name is Parvati. Parvati, she's a badass. She has like 17 arms. Not 17, I don't know actually. Oh wait, oh shit. Yes, I'm immigrant. Yes, my accent didn't slip. No. Anyways, his wife Parvati wanted to bathe in a river, right? And she was bathing in this river, and she tells her son, hey, do not let anybody come to see me naked, okay? I'm Sem is like a good, Sem is Gujarati word that I used when I was a little boy for naked, and we had a little song about it, but I not sing the song yet. But she was Sem and she was bathing in the river, and she told her little boy to say, nobody come see me. And so Shiva comes to see Parvati, and he's like, oh yes, I'm gonna get some action, I'm gonna make another son, yes. And then his little boy is like, no daddy. And then Shiva has anger issues, right? He's an angry bird. So he takes his third eye and he chops off his son's head. And then he's like, oh my God, I just chopped off my son's head, right? And she's like, and so he's like, damn, my wife gonna be so mad about these damn things. And so he's like, what do I do? What do I do? And so he says to his peoples, he says to his like royal peoples, he says, find the head of the first thing you see, right? The first thing they saw was an elephant. They chopped off the elephant's head, put it on the little boy, and said, you are God now. That is the origin story of Ganesh, to my knowledge. You can clap now. Thank you. Yes. Yes. You guys are all learning about Hinduism now. Yes. Jesus was brown, but he was not the best brown. This is India. India is the best. Recently, India beat Pakistan in a cricket match. You guys watch cricket? Oh my God. Oh my God. What do you guys watch, huh? Soccer? What's so interesting about soccer? What do you mean? Everybody's people. Everybody watches sports. What's so funny about soccer people? Let me tell you, back in my day, I looked like I could play soccer really well. I was skinny, I was tall. I couldn't play soccer very well, but I was good at cricket. Cricket is Indian international baseball, but it's better than baseball, right? Right? I love cricket because there's no time limit. You could just be there all day, right? It's based off of like how many balls you get in the innings, right? And then you like switch sides, and then you have to beat each other. Anyways, that's my favorite sport. Let me see. What should I end with? I don't know. My son disappointed me, guys. I have two sons. I have one older and one younger. And my younger one, he looked like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. He's like straight resemblance. He looks so dumb. His eyes so wide, mile wide. He's a chameleon. And my older one, he's a pretty cool guy. He's a cool guy. He study engineering, but that just means he's depressed. And when I say, beta, why are you depressed? He goes, I'm not depressed, I'm okay. And he's like, I'm your father, I know you, you're sad. I'm like, and he's like, really Dad, I'm okay. And then I go, because this is true fact. I read this somewhere, true fact, right? Mental health not existent. It's just all about mentality. You just have to think good. Yeah. So I will leave you with this, guys. Think good and eat well, and a happy new year.
That was great. Yeah. He mentioned our Venmo. Venmo is MG Beats with a Z. As our treasurer would say, with a Z. But I won't say that. because I'm a true-blooded American. Yeah. Ayush said that performance was great. I didn't understand most of what you were saying, but it's glad to know that paternal disapproval goes across cultures. So next up, we have somebody who's performed many times, but I have never seen performed. You may have seen him on your Saturday morning cartoons. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Dylan. Dylan!
You guys enjoying the show tonight? That's great. As you guys can see, I'm dressed up as Shaggy, mostly because I'm lazy, and if the cops think I'm high, I can just pretend it's part of my costume. If my parents are watching this, I'm joking. I'm not being lazy, I swear. You'll notice though how guys don't really try much with their costumes anymore. Girls will spend $90 on a costume, have some intricate makeup, good enough that it could be a painting, and then guys will throw on a t-shirt and some pants and be like, am I trying too hard? And, I think one of the reasons for this is that guys can just be a little insecure, not enough confidence. Another good example of that is the no homo thing. A guy will compliment another guy and they'll be like, no homo, like it's a defense mechanism. Like their fight or flight response. They'll be like, oh dude, I like that shirt, but no homo. Yo, you got nice eyes, no homo. Yo, Dave, you got really kissable lips, no homo. Yo, nice shaft. I just feel like guys have low confidence, and another reason for this is I think guys are just a little too afraid of being gay. I think they're a little too afraid of being gay, and it's not that I think more guys should be gay, I just think, they're a little too afraid to do something that they think would be gay. For example, I know a guy who said that he would never use a bong because it looks like a penis. First of all, dude, I'm worried about your penis. Go to the hospital right now, you need help. Second of all, how does this guy think that you use a bong? He's sitting in a circle, he's like, yo dude, give me a hit. He grabs it, spits on it, rubs it up and down, like that. He goes in for a hit and just deep throats the entire thing. Yeah, I wonder if he spits or swallows the smoke. That's the thing, just being afraid of gay stuff can really hold you back. Has anybody here seen seen Bros? Anybody? Yeah. So, it's the new gay rom-com, right? Starring Billy Eichner and some random gym bro that they found on the street. Fully convinced this guy did not exist until the movie was announced, just popped into existence. So I went to see it with a friend, and I am positive that they thought we were gay. Positive. I mean, it was two dudes going late at night to a gay rom-com. I gave him a kiss on the cheek as we went in, But halfway through the movie, they definitely didn't think I was gay anymore. Mostly because I yelled "ew" during one of the makeout scenes. And I swear it wasn't because of any of the gay stuff. It was just because this dude just starts sucking toes. Out of nowhere. I am fine with all the gay stuff, I am fine with all the LGBTQ stuff. But if you just subject me to foot stuff randomly without my permission, it's too far, way too far. It's a good movie though, Billy Eichner, he's a good actor, pretty funny, nice eyes, but no homo. Thank you guys, that was my set. Hope you guys are enjoying the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dylan one more time. I'm a little bit upset you thought so little of our date. Oh well, we'll get him next time. I think now is a good time to mention that our show is actually sponsored. That's right, we got somebody to pay us money. It is Phillips Real Estate. Yeah, Phillips Real Estate. I'll never own a house, but if I did, it would be from Phillips Real Estate. Phillips Real Estate. Less than 5% of our houses are haunted. Phillips Real Estate. Asbestos-free since 4 p.m. All right, have we gotten our money yet, Catherine?
Yeah.
All right, we're good. Woo! All right, legitimately, thank you, Phillips Real Estate, for giving us money. Maybe not the best advertising opportunity, but we really appreciate you helping out upcoming comedians. Speaking of upcoming comedians, we have a very funny comedian coming up next. He says that he is a converted gay, but $20 says differently. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Anthony.
Hello. Actually, I didn't want him to mention that to you guys yet, but I was gonna tell you the story because actually this is I know this sounds made up, but a lot in the news you'll hear about the gay conversion therapy, and they'll tell you the stories about how horrible it is and how it doesn't even work. Well, I got news for you. It worked on me. All right? It's good. I'm not gay anymore. This thing is though, the shocks during the thing, I don't know, I just kind of feel them every now and then. Sometimes I'll have a thought, slightly gay, and I'll just go, ugh, you know? I don't know, but it just keeps happening. So if that ever happens, just ignore it. It's not anything. Ugh, sorry. But seriously, the club president told me I need to start talking more to the crowd. So what's your name, ma'am? Never mind. What's his name? I just wanted to talk about this. I forgot about this story until yesterday, and my friend reminded me. He called me. We were talking about high school, and he made. Are you serious? Yeah. Just a shout out to our sponsor, Phillips Real Estate. Okay, that's good. Phillips Real Estate, yeah. It's not even that big of a sponsor. I mean. I wanted to talk about, so my friend called me up from high school and he reminded me this story about the time I made my teacher cry. He's a man, not a woman. That's not relevant, that doesn't matter. But I was in the middle of class, it was Valentine's Day, and I wanted to just play a joke on him because I know he's like a little bit funny. So I interrupted class in the middle of his teaching and he was upset, and I said, I got you a gift. And I gave him a Valentine's Day card, and it said, Happy Galentine's Day. The joke of it was that there was a picture of two girls dancing, and I'm saying, we're just a couple of gals. He broke out into tears, and that's not actually, this is not funny, that's just horrible, I made him cry. I think it's funny because I'm a dick. I wanted also to tell you guys, now it's Halloween, right? You guys are all dressed up? That's good. I just remembered a story from last Halloween. Last year, my friends and I, we went to a Halloween party. And I got dressed up. I was dressed up as an Arab. I'm Arab, it's okay. And so we went to the party, and it was him, me, and 7 girls. So if you count that ratio, that's 3.5 women to each guy. You know, just like back home. And so, we get to the party, and of course girls are free because it's a fair world. And the girls go in, and then we were walking in, and the dude says, yo. I said, what? What's up? He said, it's $20 a guy. I said, did you not just see how many women we brought? He said, I'm sorry, get out. So my friend and I are not paying $20 a guy, so we leave. And as we're leaving, he said, oh look there in the fence, there's like a little hole. And there was a hole in the fence. And so we walked to the fence, and we went through the hole of the fence, and we got into the party. And so, now here we are into the party for free. Didn't pay any money. And still, it's mostly dudes. More dudes got in the party, paid $20 than girls. So we're at the party, and my friend and I were just messing around, doing nothing. We didn't really take it seriously. And all of a sudden, we see this girl, and she was ugly girl. But the thing is that it wasn't a girl. Now, just so you know, before I say this next part, I'm not sexist that much. It was actually a man dressed as a woman. And now, it wasn't transgender, it was just, it was obviously a dude wearing a wig. And we're both there questioning, like, what's going on? So my friend wanted to mess with her, whatever. And he goes up to her and says, can I get a dance? And the dude said, fuck off. And so we're thinking, what's going on? He's not a woman. So we're messing around at the party, whatever. 20 minutes later, I see the same dude, except now he's taken off the wig, taken off the dress, and is wearing guy clothes. So I'm thinking, oh my God, this wasn't a transgender person. This was a guy who didn't want to pay $20 to get in the party. And it was the worst part. That was still the hottest girl at the party. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Anthony one more time. That's great. Yeah, I would not pay $20 to get into a party. I don't know, I just would have gone home, looked at my friend and said, hey, there's two of us. Flip a coin, let's see how tonight's gonna go. All right. So stupid. All right. Next up, we have a very funny comedian. I think this will be her second time performing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Julia.
All right. How's everybody doing? So, if you haven't figured it out, I'm John Lemon. And I'm sorry. If I take off the glasses, it's just eccentric white person. But yeah, I have a question for all you guys. Has anyone ever thought to themselves, why aren't there cube-shaped M&Ms? No? Okay. Well, this is one of many innovative ideas conceived by me under the influence of 70s relic marijuana. And if there are any cops in the audience, fuck you, first of all. And second of all, yes, I have a weed card, okay? I'm the proud owner of a medical weed card. But things were not always that way. My very first time being high, I took a singular rip out of a Gatorade bottle, which I think is pretty much a universal experience shared by everyone who can lie to their parents. And I then had to spend the next 3 hours reminding myself that you can't die from weed while my friends watched the Goofy movie. Yeah, but no, things are better now. You know, now that I have the weed card, I just walk up to the dispensary and I'm like, oh, you guys have a new strain, Gorilla Grip. I bet that would feel nice. So I'm in my last year of grad school now, and some things are different than when you're an undergrad, but some of them aren't. You know, when you're an undergrad, you probably have several friends who have majors that you truly don't understand, right? Like, maybe you don't know what they do or what they're really gonna add to the world. So I was a physics major and my best friend was a business major. And she tried to explain to me what business majors do, and it just never really stuck. I mean, I know, like, you guys wake up, pray to the stock market, supply, demand, I'm just saying words now. Yeah, it just didn't really stick, because I'm gonna be honest, every time a business major walks up to me and starts talking about school, this is what I hear.
Oh yeah, dude, I have a spreadsheet due tomorrow for intro to daddy's yacht money. Or like, yeah, it's always kind of been my dream to help Jeffrey Bezos find new ways to exploit the working class. Sorry. So my best friend's now a consultant, and I still have no idea what she does. But she is apparently doing a very good job at it, because she makes 6 times my salary. So yeah, some things will be different after undergrad. You know, once you're away from all the distractions and everything that come with being in college, you start to kind of go like, oh no, I fear that I must become self-actualized now. And you know, you'll probably pick up some hobbies, your frontal lobe will finish developing, you will get in a 2 to 4 year relationship that inevitably blows up in your face. And this is not personal, this applies to everyone. But yeah, it can be, as they say, brutal out here. And so every generation has their own way of dealing with this. Our moms had live, laugh, love signs. You know, they would just like wake up and go like, okay, Deborah, all you have to do is live, laugh, love today. And our generation has therapy. I'm not going to go and say that one is better than the other, but one of them does address the root cause of the problem. But, you know, it can be tough. And at the end of the day, I think that's why people like John Lemon and his friend Ringo Starrfruit really liked marijuana, is because it takes your brain from a fight or flight state to a live, laugh, love state. Thanks, guys.
All right, give it up for Julia one more time. Physics major whose best friend was a business major got their heart broke after a 2 to 4 year relationship fell apart. You've been reading my diary, haven't you? Anyway, that was a personal joke. Next up is our fearless president, Sage. She's very funny. I'm a bit upset that she read my Tinder bio on stage last time, but that's all right. I don't harbor any resentment. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sage. Sage to the stage. Oh my gosh, I can't say that.
Amazing. Hello guys. I'm dressed as Steve from Blue's Clues. Thank you. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, the only reason I have this costume is because my roommate and I were shopping at Target, and I just saw this shirt and I liked it just to like wear. She was like, oh my god, like, are you gonna be Steve from Blue's Clues for Halloween? And I was like, I am now. So that was great. We're talking kind of Halloween, so I thought I would talk about something really scary. I'll talk about the place I lived last year, the scariest place I've ever lived, Pritchard Hall. Anybody ever live in Pritchard? Yeah, I know. We're like trauma bonded, all of us in this room. But yeah, Pritchard Hall was really scary. I feel like Pritchard was kind of like a year-long challenge to like pass my classes and not get HPV. It was also, I'm an English major at an engineering school, and I did one of those, so you can figure out which one I did, but Pritchard was great. A lot of times when I'm talking to my friends from home that go to different schools, they'll be like, oh my god, my dorm was so crazy. And I'm like, yeah, like what happened? You know, my friends from JMU will be like, oh my god, like, I walked outside and there was an open beer can and it made the entire hall smell like old bread. And I'm like, that's crazy. And my friends from UVA are like, I walked outside and there was a poor person. And I'm like, oh my god, that's insane. And then I'm like, oh my god, like, last night I watched a guy punch a window, shatter it, and then walk back to his dorm with a bloody fist. So that's what I dealt with in Pritchard. They're like, oh, that's crazy. I saw crazy stuff. I would come home from being out on Saturdays, and I swear to God, I would see like 4 different passed out people on my trek back to my room. And obviously I'm not a monster. I'd be like, hey, are you good? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, okay, see you later. Mostly because I cannot help. Like I've tried a lot of times, it never ends well for me. I actually have 2 stories about the times that I tried to help somebody drunk. The first time, it was a Saturday, and I went to bed, and then I woke up at like 4 in the morning, and I was like, oh my God, I have to pee. So I got down from my lofted bed, and I walked over to my door, and I opened it, and there was a man passed out right in front of my door. And I was like, I did not order that. You know what I mean? I was like a little confused. I was like, what? Okay. And I just like looked at him and I kind of kicked him, you know? I was like, what is that? And he groaned, so he was alive. That was great. I like that because I was like a little worried I'd be accessory to murder. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, right outside my door? That's a little suspicious. But once he groaned, I was like, okay, he's alive. So I shook him and I was like, hey dude, like, wake up. And he was like, what? And I was like, okay, just like get up. And then, I mean, I'm assuming like in his thoughts, he was like, who's this angel, this beautiful angel that's like waking me up? His words, not mine. And then I was like trying to shake him because I was trying to get him to leave. And then I look around and I look right behind me and I see an RA walking down the hallway. And you can just like kind of tell when someone's an RA, you know what I mean? Like they have like the really slow walk because they want you to leave. Like they don't want to be dealing with this. So she walks up and I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, dude, like get up, wake up, we gotta go. And he just wasn't going. He was like, you're not my friend. And I was like, okay, fine. So the RA gets there and she's like, is this your friend? And I'm like, no, like we just met. Like I don't know. I mean, I got a Snapchat, but like I don't know what we are. You know what I mean? Like we're just talking. So, and she was like, oh, that's not all right. So I was like, okay, yeah, I don't know who this guy is. And she was like, dude, like get up. And he was like, no. So she's like, okay, I have to call the police, right? So they call the police, and the police comes. And the EMTs come too because, you know, there's a drunk guy passed out outside my door. And meanwhile, I hope you understand, I had to pee this entire time. I got down to pee, I'm here, and the cop's like, you can't leave, you're a witness to what's going on. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm standing there, and the cop's like, all right, buddy, how much have you had to drink tonight? And he goes, I haven't had any alcohol tonight. And she goes, okay, so I know you've had alcohol tonight. How much have you had to drink? He goes, 1 beer. And she said, okay. You smell like a dive bar, and I'm sure if I lit a fire to your breath, it would, you know what I mean? So she's like, I know you're lying. And the EMTs are like, you know what, like let's just do our job. We'll ask him some questions, figure out what's going on. So the EMTs are like, hey buddy, okay, we're gonna ask you some questions. How many quarters are in a dollar? 3. And she's like, okay, didn't pass that one. Okay, what day is it? Tuesday. I was like, damn, on a Tuesday? You're turning up like this on a Tuesday? Okay. I was like, all right, that's wrong too. And then she asked the final question. She goes, who is the president right now? And he goes, he kind of takes a second. He goes, Joe Biden! And I was like, okay, liberal. I was like, yeah, okay, king. So that was great. He got arrested. He wouldn't go with the paramedics. They're like, we have to take you. And he was like, I won't go there. So they just took him to the drunk tank. I found out from a girl in my hallway, he didn't get out of the drunk tank until 7 p.m. 7 p.m. That must have been a crazy beer. Like, what was in that? You know what I mean? Like, was it an IPA? What do we think? I don't. So yeah, that was one experience. Another experience I had was I was taking this guy back to his dorm, and I was like, okay, like we're gonna get you back to your dorm. It's gonna be great. And he was like, okay, perfect. So we get to the door, and he's like, I need water. And I was like, wow, it must be so exhausting being like a super irritating drunk person. Do you know what I mean? Like he must have expended a lot of his energy. So I was like, okay, like we can get you water once we get in your room. And he was like, but I don't have any water. And I was like, okay, well, we can get it from your sink. And he said, I can't drink that. Like he almost like sobered up to say that. He was like, I can't drink that. I've watched his fraternity take paper cups off the floor and then put more alcohol in them and serve them to people. But he can't drink the water from. Anyway, so I was like, okay, fine. Well, we'll go to the water fountain. Where's the water fountain? He says, it's down those stairs. And I don't know if you guys know this, but drunk people and stairs, enemies, not a good match. So I'm like, fine, like, okay, let's get over the stairs. So I'm kind of like carrying him over to the stairs. And we get to the stairs. He's like, Sage, I can jump down this entire staircase with one jump, just one jump. And I'm like, wow, that's so hot. Okay, like, don't do that. Like, let's not jump down the entire staircase. He's like, no, I'm sorry, I can do it. I can jump down this entire staircase. And I was like, okay, we're not going down the staircase, so you promise me you're not jumping down this staircase right now. He said, okay, fine, I promise. And I was like, okay, so I let him go to go down the stairs. What does he do? Jump down the staircase, obviously. Obviously, he jumps down the staircase. He jumps so high. Mind you, I was carrying this man practically down the hallway. He jumps so high, he hits the top of his head on the ceiling, falls down the stairs, and like starts freaking out. And he's like, Sage, I'm gonna die. And I was like, wow, okay. Should have let him. But anyways, so we're figuring it out, and I'm like, okay, like you're fine. He's like pacing down the hallway. He's like, I'm dying. And I was like, you're fine. Like, and then he has his hand on his head, and he grabs me by the waist. And I look down, and there's blood covering my stomach. And I was like, oh, you know what? He might be dying. He might be correct in that assumption. So I was like, you know what? Like, sit down and let me just like look at what's going on in your skull. And I look down, and I see a 2-inch gash just right in his head, right? And I don't know if you guys know, but 2 inches is a lot. And I'm saying that for the guys in the room, okay? 2 inches is a lot. So I look down his cut, it has a great personality, 2 inches. And I'm like, fuck, okay, so that's not good. That's definitely probably like a hospital kind of thing, right? Like I'm not a doctor, again, English major, but I'm assuming hospital situation. So I was like, okay, we'll figure it out. So I called his friend and I was like, you need to come up here and take him to the hospital, but not before the RA. Them bitches are everywhere. Not before the RA comes out and is like, yeah, we're gonna have to call an ambulance for him. And I was like, no, it's fine. Like, totally got it. We're gonna get him to the hospital. She was like, I'm so sorry, but we have to call an ambulance. So he goes with the cop and the ambulance. Everything is great. The next morning though, guys, he said, I'm really sorry. And then he offered to buy me something from Owens with his meal dollars. So like, honestly, like, so romantic. Am I right? Like, that was peak. So, ladies, all I have to say, let them bleed out. Maybe that was a red flag. I don't know, but it was all great. Yeah, Pritchard's great. Pritchard was a fun time. I lived in, like, obviously it was like kind of a girls' hallway, and Pritchard still has urinals because it was an all-boys dorm. So a lot of times I'd be in the bathroom and I'd like hear somebody come in the bathroom and I'd come out to wash my hands and there'd just be a guy pissing in our bathroom, an all-girls bathroom. And I'd like kind of look at him a little weird and then he would look back at me like I was weird every single time. And I don't know if it was because I was washing my hands or if it was because I was in there, but either way I was like, dude, you're in my bathroom. And that was crazy. But I moved on from Pritchard. Now I live in Foxridge, right? Which is basically just like Pritchard but bigger, right? So I live in Foxridge now. And Foxridge is great. It's a good time. But instead of like the really loud, annoying neighbors upstairs being like the hot guys from the 4th floor, it's like a family with a baby. You know what I mean? A fun little twist. And that baby is so fucking annoying. Oh my god, it's the most annoying child. I swear to God, we found the most annoying baby ever. It's always screaming. And I'm not gonna lie, one day I'm gonna roundhouse it. I'm being so for real. Like, if I see that baby, it's on site. I'm being so for real. But anyways, Foxridge is great. I also have, so I live in a it's like 2 apartments basically. I have 5 roommates, 6 girls, 1 apartment. Everyone's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it's a great time, guys. But we have 2 sides, so that's one side of the family. The other side is these people that don't have a baby, but are really trying hard to have one, it seems like. Jesus Christ, they're always going at it, all times of night. And that's great. I have friends that live in Foxridge too. They're all guys, they live in Foxridge. And a lot of people are like, oh my god, 6 girls, that's crazy, must be a lot of drama. I don't think we've talked about guys living in an apartment together. The things they've done, they turned their AC down so much that it froze. They froze the AC. I didn't even think that was a thing you could do, but they froze AC. They also adopted a fish, which is kind of cute. 5 frat brothers adopted a fish, which I think is adorable. Obviously that fish is living an awful life, clearly. They got this fish, and so they named this fish the C word, or hunt, as you might. I'm going to refer to it as hunt. We're going to say hunt for the rest of the show, okay? Just in case my grandma's watching. But anyway, so they had a fish, they named it Hunt, and this fish has gone through everything. They threw the fish from the top of the 3rd floor of Pritchard down all the way to the floor into the bowl. I know, I'm really sorry. Like if you're from PETA, it's a goldfish. It was a goldfish cracker. I don't. Yeah, I know. I'm really sorry. But anyways, they dropped this fish down. The fish survived somehow. That, I mean, amazing. Amazing work by the fish. I came to visit the fish the other day, and there was just a cigarette in the fish bowl. And I was like, okay, either somebody put that there, or that fish has got a serious nicotine problem. I mean, it was crazy. And so I said, what's going on here? And they were like, you know, we poured some beer in there, so we just wanted a drunk sake. And I was like, you know what, valid. Like, who am I? Who am I to tell him what to do? You know what I mean? So anyways, that's crazy. They also had a fish they named G-Spot, which is a great one. They killed him, or as I like to think, never found him. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, all right, thank you guys. On stage.
All right, give a big hand to Sage one more time. I do want to correct one of those stories. So, you know, the blood was real, the ambulance was real, the 2-inch gash was real, but I made it to the bottom of those stairs. I told her I could jump it, and I did. All right, next up, we have a very funny comedian, somebody who I've been performing with for several months, and fun fact, 7th in the line to the Crown of England. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Malhar. Laser eye surgery, am I right? Here you go.
Oh my god. Can you actually hear me for this? I'm gonna put it up my mask. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna just do it like this. Fuck this. Okay. You can clearly see what happens when I get adult money. This is highly irresponsible. I spend too much money on this. And the rest is just like Walmart, innit? Yeah. Halloween. This is my first time doing this mockery sort of thing. Dressing up. But you guys seem to love it, so yeah. Yeah. How many of you are dressing up? What's like the most like fun idea you guys have had? Silence, nice. That's great, that's great. I recently performed at an event, and I did some of my unfiltered jokes at this event, and they were like, no. Like the guys in the club were like, no, you can't do this. It's unfiltered, absolutely not. Like, that's fine. Like, I have clean jokes. But what caught me off guard was, for the first time, 7 guys knew the meaning of the word no. The other day I was talking to a girl. I was like, I like to nap while taking a bath. She's like, don't do that. You can drown in 2 inches of water. I was like, yeah, now 2 inches hits the back of your throat, huh? Damn it. I was also talking to this other girl, she had heart surgery. They put a cable thingy, right, through her vagina to look at her heart. Who knew the way to a woman's heart was through her vagina? Boys, next time your girl's having a cardiac arrest, just fuck her. Thank you. I can't see you, but the audio, yeah? Cheers, man. I was on a group chat with my boys the other day. One of the boys goes, yo, fam, I got a Snapchat notification. Mia Khalifa just got a haircut. Like, hang on, why do you follow Mia Khalifa on Snapchat, first off? Right? And second off, since when do you look at her hair? You don't see it in the videos. She's like, no, she looks young for her age. You know, she's 29. I was like, yeah, she started at 18, fam. You grew up with her. Like, yeah, fair point, mate, fair point. there's nothing awkward than watching porn that's the same with your boys. It's just a bit weird. Can't be fat into the same things. That just makes it awkward, doesn't it? Look at that. I had more jokes. How many of you found today's show through the roast booth that we had on Friday? None. That's great. That's great. We have roast booths where we insult people. They pay us $1. We insult them. It's pretty funny. Yeah? I insulted, like, and women want it hard. Not like that. They just, they want to be hurt. And we try and like tread a line, right? Because you can't really hurt someone off like a $1 roast. It's not worth it, you know? But then I said something to this girl, and she came back 20 minutes later in her drunk state because she still remembered it, right? I told this girl, you look like you have a minimum wage OnlyFans. Now, yeah, no, she got caught off guard with that, and then, you know, she left and came back 20 minutes later. Anyway, I'm getting claustrophobic under this mask, so I'm gonna just leave now. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for turning up. We do have a show coming up at the end of the semester, which is also going to be big. It's going to be at the Haymarket Theatre, 2nd of December. Come through for that. I'm also the treasurer, so do Venmo me. My thingy is MGB to the Z, and yeah, that's all from me tonight, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you should come to our roast booth. It's a lot of fun. I got paid to make fun of my students. That is a high you cannot buy, but they can. Yeah, worst roast I ever gave, the one I feel really bad about. I looked at some guy and I told him, you look like you only lift to make up for the fact that you're 5'6". I think I like really hurt him. Yeah. Anyway, just a reminder, we are sponsored tonight by Phillips Real Estate. Phillips Real Estate. If we built the Twin Towers, there would be 2 more buildings in New York. I thought of that 5 seconds ago. If I were sober, I would have said, don't say that. But I did. Anyway, we have one more comedian for you tonight. Very funny. Please welcome to the stage, Nathan.
Boom. So, you know, Halloween's right around the corner, and like many other holidays, Halloween goes by a different name depending on where you are in the world. Like here in America, it used to be called All Hallows Eve. Very spooky. And in Mexico, they call it the Day of the Dead. Very spooky. Well, in China, they call it, can you guess? Tomb Sweeping Day. I would have gone with something scarier, like CCP Day, but... So on Tomb Sweeping Day, families gather around the grave sites of all their deceased ancestors to pay their respects. They spend the whole day eating cold food and even sweeping up the tombstones. Oh, like the name. Very clever, China. Very clever. You almost got me with that one. And I mean, it makes sense, because if there's one thing a dead guy can't do, it's clean up his room. I mean, but personally, between you and me, I think sweeping up a tombstone is pointless. Well, because it's not like they're getting any other visitors. And if they are, it's either for robbery or that third date. And at that point, I think a little mud on the welcome mat is not your biggest issue. Because if you're a grave robber, you kind of signed up for it. Like, it should be the job description. A dirty workplace environment is just an occupational hazard. So take it up with HR. And I mean, what kind of a hypocrite is going to go and make passionate love with a corpse, then complain about how messy the room was? It reminds me of this argument I had with my mom all the time when I was little. I'd say, Mom, why do I have to clean up my room? It's always dirty. She said, it's always dirty because you don't clean. That's how she talks. And I say, but Mom, there's a dead guy in there. It'll never be clean. But like, the main themes of Halloween are life and death. And what's interesting to me is, that we have other holidays that celebrate them, like MLK Day. On MLK Day, we celebrate the life and accomplishments of Martin Luther King Jr., a great man whose work impacts millions today. And on Memorial Day, we celebrate the heroic sacrifice many brave men and women made, all for the greater good. On Columbus Day, we celebrate both. But what's most interesting to me is where life and death are basically the same thing. Because if you think about it, a cemetery is a lot like a retirement home. Because, a cemetery is meant to house the dead, whereas a retirement home is meant to house the living, for now. And, the groundskeepers are a lot like the nurses of the cemetery. They spend the whole day just letting the tombstones fall apart. And sometimes they help out. In fact, I was in Detroit during the pandemic, and I saw this groundskeeper beating up a tombstone. And your family only visits you once a year. Once a year. Halloween only happens once a year, so enjoy it. Thanks. Have a good night.
All right, please give Nathan another round of applause. And please give one more round of applause to all of our comedians for the night. They've all worked very hard on our sets. Yes, thank you. Once again, round of applause for Phillips Real Estate. Thank you. If they're dumb enough to sponsor this comedy show, they're dumb enough to approve your credit. We're not getting that money. Let's see. We have an Instagram. I'm not on Instagram, so let me see if I can remember the name. It is comcon.vt. Yeah. Comcon.vt. Please follow us on the gram. And if you think that you can be funnier than us, you're probably right. Please come to our meetings. Every Monday, Squires at 6 p.m. Squires room 236. We have a Venmo, MG Beats. Was there anything else I was supposed to say? Big win? We have a show December 2nd at Haymarket Theater. You're hearing this at the same time as me. This is breaking news. So please mark your calendars. Haymarket Theater, December 2nd. I guess I'll show up and try to be funny then, along with a lot of better comedians than I am. So, thank you all for showing up. You guys have been a fantastic audience. I hope you've appreciated all of the work that all of the comedians have put in. Big round of applause for those working here at the Milk Parlor, the real heroes. Thank you. They let us perform here. That's fantastic. Be sure to give them a big tip. Yeah. That's all I have for you. Have a happy Halloween. Good night.